Sorry.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. This is Leah Ryan and Loft Manager Richard from the Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario, here with your Monday Night Family Show, where we talk anything and everything to do with pigeons, pigeon racing, pigeon health, one loft racing, you name it. We talk about it. I'm going to check to make sure we are live on Facebook and YouTube and send it over to you, Ryan. Go ahead.
Happy Monday, everyone. Yes, while we wait for us to hook up on YouTube and Facebook, remember, guys, please, you see little icons on the bottom, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. Please, all we ask you to do is hit that subscribe link. That way you guys stay updated whenever we post up a video or do something live. On the YouTube, please hit the subscribe link. On Facebook, give us a like, thumbs up, follow our page, Instagram, all that good stuff. You guys know what to do. Follow along. Always remember, guys, this show works the very best when you participate. So don't be afraid. Put your comments, your concerns, a question, whatever you're thinking pigeon related. Don't be shy. Let us know. We're here to help. We're always here to learn. So if you're learning, then I'm learning. And if I'm learning, then you're learning. And everybody else that's watching, it's a learning thing. It's a big circle of learning, all right? So, Leah, I see we've got some comments on. Good evening to all. Take it away, Leah.
We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Good evening to everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Monday so far. What do you want to talk about first tonight, Ryan?
Well, I guess we could talk about this weekend. Starting this weekend is going to be May the 7th. And we're itching to get going at the Pioneer One Loft Race, Loft Manager versus Loft Manager Showdown. So we are going to open the doors this Saturday for the birds to start to come in. So please, if you are bringing your birds this weekend, let us know. We're giving you a couple days head start. Loft is looking good. I mean, hey, we've got the inside done. Your nice perches are done. You've got the lime wash in there. It's beautiful. You're going to hit it with one more quick coat. Then we're going to put the floor dressing down. We've got the landing board on, which he's got a beautiful new landing board, which you're going to see here in the show. And today I'm just working on the aviary. Aviary is about, I'd say, 50% done. The main brains is done on it. So I think that's a good start to today's show, Leah. What are you thinking?
Yeah, good job, Brian. Nice to see you on. Henry, nice to see you on. Did we want to show the landing board now, Ryan? Should we do that? Show the landing board, or?
Yeah, we can show the landing board for people who weren't on this afternoon. Internet kind of crapped out, but there's a video of the board. She is about 8 feet by 8 feet square. It's all got all the grills. You see those grills, the droppings can go through. Everything goes through to the bottom. But she's all well off the ground. I'd say that's about 4.5 feet off the ground. Beautiful. The aviary's just going to go on the top of that for while we settle. But there you see the grates, the grills. So all the droppings, and you throw up anything like that goes through and onto the bottom. But very nice landing board.
Mike Vandriak, where did you get the grills?
They're my own personal stash of grills. I've got about 50 of them. And what's nice about that board is in the wintertime, we're just going to pop those grills right out and put them inside. So why wear them out in the winter? They'll stay out all summer, and then we'll put them in the wintertime. Or if I want to ever cover that with wire, I can. Either or. I wanted to do grills. I think Loft Manager Richard's birds are, they'll feel the difference in their board than my board, because wire board.
Exactly. That's what we decided.
Yeah.
And the position of the landing board will be different than Ryan's. So the birds will associate a difference. The drop chute will be a drop chute, not bobs. So birds will associate the difference, right? And this board here is made out of good quality hardwood.
It's a beautiful
And,
board.
yeah.
Well, you were up on top of it. You're going to sit up on there. You're going to see some
Yeah.
shows where Ricky will be with the birds.
That was up there, yeah.
Also, Benzing sent us a large 12-field antenna, one solid pad. So that's going to be good.
If you don't mind me asking, do you mind?
No.
What's the dimensions of that pad?
It's about, I think it's about 27 inches, about 3 feet long.
36 inches long.
Yeah.
And the same 12, 14-inch wide?
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
measurements.
Very nice.
It's a nice pad.
Yeah.
It'll work good. High speed. And what we're going to do with that pad is we're not going to put any stalls in the pad. We're going to leave the pad at the start here to just a drop shoot. And let's just see how the pad works without having individual stalls. I want to see how it picks up. We're going to kind of do a Benzing test on it.
That's what I mentioned to you, Ryan, that I don't want stall pads in there at all, because a half a second to me makes a big difference.
I understand that. We're going to see how the pad reacts to 200 birds coming through. And if that pad doesn't miss a pigeon, then we're not going to put that up there for you. If the pad misses birds because they come in too quick, then we'll have to put a stall in. But again, we're going to first see when we're doing the settling and the breaking and the loft line, how the pad is working on your system. It's different than mine. Mine's a stall.
I understand what you're saying. I believe that Benzing, do you know what the stats is on their clocking? It can do like 50 birds a second or something.
Yeah, it can do something incredible. But we're going to see when we take no stall on it with a drop shoot how
I know 100%.
I'm not going to say, I haven't tested it myself to see if 200 birds come through there in 200 birds in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. That's pretty quick for no stall, for no
100%. No stall. But if I have to, I will put down pool noodles.
No, we're not doing that. Don't even bring that up because the people don't understand that.
Sorry.
You got to remember, the audience is very easy, right? Let me tell you something. With your audience, say one thing wrong, I'll tell you. You can get them going down the wrong gopher hole. You don't want to do that. I say keep the audience on the same track. I didn't unplug you. It was just the bump of my shirt. Settle down now. All right, you got these new muffs on and you're getting all screwed up. Okay. We got people on. Leah, I'm sure there's questions, comments, and a whole bunch of compliments. Take it away.
Wait a minute. Not a whole bunch of questions yet, but Brian says the Benzing large pad works great. Jay-Z is asking if you know somebody. Where is it? No. Where is your question, Jay-Z? Jay-Z was just asking if you knew somebody, and oh, there it is. Jay-Z, do you know my girl, Lisa Shkuda?
Nope, I don't know her.
I don't think so. Does she know us?
Well, wait a minute.
Wanted to what? Sorry.
Maybe she wants to get a team in our race.
Maybe she does. Jay-Z, you have to give us some more info. Why don't you talk a little bit about the movie premiere that you were at on Friday and what that was all about?
Oh yeah, that was pretty interesting. Gavin Fitzgerald, he directed $1 Million Pigeons. It's a documentary that's basically for pigeon guys watching it. It's good, but it is about pigeon scandals. Really, it's about the $1 Million race and the up and down and the crash of it, and just the life of one loft racing. That's sort of what was it about. It was done very, very well. I think when we watched it, looking back at saying, well, what could you show people? You could do about 5 or 6 different documentaries on pigeons. I mean, the start of pigeon racing, one loft racing, just flying pigeons, racing pigeons. There's so many things, cute little documentaries you can do, but I think he did a really, really good job. And again, the years that he filmed it, he was filming it for the $1 Million race. And
in Africa,
and that was the year that Sarah Blackshaw
ran off with the money.
Yeah, took everyone's money, and actually, it was really great when you see this in Hot Docs. It's when you guys get a chance to see this, how a non-pigeon person makes a decision to pound birds farther than they're ready for, and takes 2,000 birds and basically flushes them all down a toilet.
Who's the non-person?
Sarah Blacksher.
Yeah.
I mean, she was the lawyer and the runner of it for 24 years.
Right.
She was a partner in it.
Right.
And everybody that had pigeon knowledge, she pushed to the side to make her.
She didn't listen to the loft manager.
No.
And she overstepped him to push the birds to where she was hoping not to get any birds. And then she ran off with the money. So
hey, it was what it was. It's a great documentary, guys.
Yeah.
Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
And it's certainly a great insight for those of you who were curious as to what exactly went wrong with the South African $1 million pigeon race in the last year that they ran, which I believe was, I want to say 2019 was 2020 or 2019, 2020 was the last year, just before COVID hit. But for those of you who weren't following along and who weren't sure what went on and who only heard the grumblings maybe on Facebook or on message boards, it's really interesting to see how that race crumbled because of the bad decision of one person involved who thought she knew more than the handlers knew.
Yeah, and the millions that she scandaled out of it. I mean, we were in the front of it. We were sending birds to the $1 million race and getting beautiful notes saying the birds are great, the birds are great, the birds are great that we sent. And then 3.5 months later, I get breeders that we sent birds for. They said all of our birds are dead except like we sent 15, we got 2 living. I sent 6, I got 1 living. We didn't understand it. And what was Sarah Blackshaw's big answer to us? All the birds died in quarantine.
Yeah.
All the birds died in quarantine. So she threw us under the bus. I know we got ripped by Gannis, we got ripped by Paul Daniels, we got ripped and ripped and ripped and ripped and ripped. But you want to know what ripped them? Sarah Blackshaw. She ripped everyone.
Fascinating documentary and a real good insight. Anyway, Mark, hello. Nice to see you. Say hello to Rosemary for us. Stan the Man is in the house from YouTube and is asking for USA breeders, when will you give us the address to ship the birds?
I am going to be contacting the breeders this week in the U.S., all of the breeders. I will ask you guys for your band numbers of your birds so you can get that over to me. Tomorrow I'll do the calling for that, Leah. I'm going to need the band numbers of your birds. And when you give me your band numbers, I will give you the address and the date on when I need you guys to ship them. We're going to be going over the week of May the 9th. So May the 9th is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9th, 10th. I will be in Buffalo on the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th.
That's
to pick up the birds.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday. Hopefully not Friday, but if need be, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week.
So tomorrow I will be contacting the U.S. breeders, and
will that be next week or
next
the week
week
after?
Next week.
You're going to be in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Next week. Isn't that next week?
Yeah, because you're talking about the 11th, 12th, 13th or something.
Yeah, it's May.
That's not
Yeah,
next week.
Yes, it is.
It's the week after, isn't it?
Well, it's next.
Oh, no, I think it's next week. Yeah, it's next week.
It's next week. Don't worry. We'll contact you, the breeders. We will contact you guys tomorrow and give you the exact date on when I'd like you to send the birds. Send them. Give us your tracking number. That way, when we pick them up, we can give you a heads up. We're going to do a little Facebook video. You're going to see the birds eating and drinking. And yes, guys, if I am in Buffalo Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly Friday, I pick your birds up on Wednesday. This next video, what you're about to see, that Leah's going to post, guys, teach your birds to do this. You still got some time. This is taught in a few days. Leah, do you want to play the next video clip?
Yeah, I'm going to play it in a second. I just got a question. People are asking, how do you guys see the movie? If you go to, I'm just going to do this for 1 second so everybody can see where you can go. If you're in Canada, right now it's premiering only in Canada. I'm not sure when the US release date will be, but Right now it is in Canada. If you go to hotdocs.ca, hotdocs, HOTDOCS.ca, this is the Hot Doc Festival, and you scroll down, you'll see all of the documentaries that are on right now with the Hot Doc Festival. You just need to find $1 Million Pigeons, which is here somewhere. Let me look for it. Let me type it in here.
Yeah,
and you click on it and you can stream it online. It's $20 and you get to stream it for, I believe, 48 hours. But that's how I watched it on Saturday morning. Anyway, I'm just going to key it in here and see if I can find it.
And another thing, you can go on Hot Docs to vote. There are, in this festival, there's about 300 documentaries that you can view. They run for the next, I think, week to 10 days, all different types of documentaries. And what's interesting is this one is ranked in the top 5.
I'm going to find it.
So hopefully this one makes it to, Netflix or National Geographic or something. You'll see somebody hopefully will pick it up. Very well done. A lot of work put in. A lot of filming. I know they filmed with us for what, a day or a day and a half, and
it was a full day. They were there one day. One day.
One day. I can't see. It was, what was it, 3 years ago? It was so long I can barely remember.
If I can say something, I appreciate what these people are doing. They're trying to help. They do a video or whatever you call it to promote the pigeon sport world, and they don't know anything about pigeons, right? But they tried their best to put something out, and like Ryan said, there could be different, part 1, part 2, part 3, right till
go for a long time.
But yeah, so these people don't know about pigeon flying, but they tried their best to put something out. So if there's a thing to vote for these people,
it was very good.
I give them number 1.
So you can stream it right here. So if you click on stream, you enter in your payment details, they send you the link, and you're able to watch it online. You can watch it on your laptop, on your iPad, on your phone, on your television. But well worth the watch, I think. If you're interested in one loft racing and you're interested in the South African debacle of 2020, it's interesting to watch, that's for sure.
And I'll tell you, there's a gentleman from Ireland. He's a I don't know, middle-aged guy. He loves pigeons. He's crazy. He's nuts about pigeons. And it's so nice to see. When you guys watch this, you're going to see. That's what love of pigeon flying is. And you see the Mike Gannis of the world that's got to send out 100 army, which that's great too. But you see, what was great was it's a scandal of one loft racing where the Irish guy's in it that doesn't have all the money in the world, where the big guy has all the money in the world. He's in it. And then at the end, you see the flip side of it. Guys, check it out. You're going to like it. I think the Irish guy, Leah, I give him a thumbs up.
Well, if I can say something. That fellow by the name of Mike Gannis, he came on there and he said, if you don't put 40, 50, 60, 100 birds in this race, you do not have a prayer in competing a chance. This fella made that statement. But this Irish fella, he put 4 birds in, hard-earned money. And out of the 4, he got 1 to score. What was it, 52nd position?
It was 560.
Well, 560.
He finished the race.
He finished the race. So,
but what a lot of people don't.
Out of 6,000 or 8,000 birds, that's a pretty good accomplishment.
And we're not going to here to pick on Mike, because there's lots of high-end flyers that put big numbers out into races, 50 to 100 entrants. The way I look at these races is, if the entry is a 3-bird team, and you put in roughly 90 birds, that means you're flying 30 years in one. Okay? 30 years in one. And the Irish guy, we're going to use him, the regular guy like myself. I will send a 3-bird team. Most of us will send a 3-bird team. But the big guy, he sends 30 teams in 1 year. So I have to fly that race 30 years to match a big name guy. My question to you is, who's really winning the race?
The Irish guy.
The Irish guy's winning.
Yeah,
But, you know,
and I'm very sorry.
We got to thank the big
If I
guys.
can
So
say
we
something,
got to thank the big guys.
If I can say something, I'm
Yes.
very sorry if I use this fellow's name by the name of Mike Gannis, but he came on there and said his name, and that's what he said. So I'm going to use his name because he came out in public to make that statement.
That's right.
So I use his name. That's it.
And that's fine. That's what he does. But I'm going to say something.
I don't know the Irish
I'm going to
guy's name.
say, is it really winning a race?
No, it's not. The Coverchet system, the Irish guy won the race.
But no, we're not even saying that the Irish guys. I'm saying there was a lot of guys with lower teams that blew it out of the water. But you know what? People don't look at the numbers. You know what they look at? They look at the firsts.
So
that's buying a first.
My question to the audience is, do you guys think in one loft races that there should be a limit on how many birds one participant are allowed to send to that particular race? Should there be a 2-team limit or a 1-team limit? Do you guys think limits on the number of birds participants are allowed to send to one loft races? Do you think there should be limits? Let us know in the comments. Moving on, Brian wants to know, how is the bird flu going in Canada? I hope it's fizzling out like COVID has. Has COVID really fizzled out here in Canada when we're still all running around with masks on? We're not going to talk about that right now. The bird flu, how's it going? Ryan?
I don't know. Bird flu's all right.
I could say something.
Go ahead.
I've banded about 80 young ones, and I haven't had any problems yet.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. I've had a few that I've had to eliminate because they're just not great, but I haven't had, knock on wood, any problem yet.
And that's it, guys. You got to knock on wood.
Knock on wood. I shouldn't have said that. I find, though, once we start getting a little bit of heat coming, we haven't had any heat yet. But so we get in those days where you're getting up to 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Right?
Humidity.
Yeah, humidity. I find then, for some reason, something happens.
From what I've gathered in Europe, a lot of, after about the second round, they give them all a canker coxy treatment.
Right.
They give it to them because it's like the overloading on stress. But hey, each to your own. Most guys now are stopped breeding. But go ahead, Leah.
I've had good luck. Yeah, so far.
Ooh, I didn't realize my mic was off. Sorry about that. Martin Coppersmith has a comment. I'm a newbie with Racing Homers. Watched an old video of you and Tony Alvis. What a great guy in the sport. He certainly is, Martin. And now, how come we don't see Leah's face on the show? Oh, well, that's a great question, Martin. I am not the star of the show. I'm just here to bring it to your TV screens. It's Ryan, Richard, and the Pigeons who are the stars. I'm just here to help. Getting back to my question that I asked, if there should be a cap on the number of participants one flyer is allowed to send to races, Michael Peebler says no, there shouldn't be. Mike Sheridan says no, there shouldn't be. Frank Eichhorn, no, I don't. You pay? Not sure, but I think that means no. Troy says if there's a limit, the money will have a cap. Premier League, nice to see you back on this evening. Says the Germans have dominated the one loft races for 20 years. They do not send the big teams. Mike Vandriak, when Mike Gannis enters 100 birds, he is increasing his chances, but he is having no effect on anyone else's chances. The guy that enters 3 has the same chance of winning whether or not Gannis enters 3 birds or 100 birds. I am not a fan of limits. Jay-Z, this has sparked quite the conversation here. I'm just going to try and get through these comments. Jay-Z says the odds are all the same. It's just you have more chances, 1 bird or 30 birds. Premier, the most successful one loft race fans here in the world of one loft racing, does not send big teams. Brian Mansker, the Flying D, limited to 6 birds, 2 3-bird teams. So I guess his race does have a limit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan, and then I'm going to get back to the comments. Go ahead.
I don't think there's a problem. I like limits or non-limits. It's the same with one loft racing. I think the other thing too is we've sugar-coated it all throughout the U.S. It's that feel-good first drop. They split all the money. All the birds are equal. Blah 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 blah. I don't think if there's no limits on how many birds you can send, there shouldn't be no first drop bullshit. My opinion, I'm not a first drop kind of guy. There's always somebody that crosses the line first, even if 6 come together. Again, I'm just explaining. I'm not against it. Every time you send birds, and we will use Mike Gannis, and you beat him, congratulations, you've beat him. Because not only have you beaten them, you have beaten about $1 million or $2 million or $3 million worth of stock that can't cut the mustard. So it is a big compliment to fly against that type of numbers. But I will say, there is no Pattaya winner. There's no $1 million race winner. There's not one of them that he's won. If he drops down to regular numbers, it ain't happening. And there's a lot of small guys out there that have done extremely, extremely well. And you don't want to take that away from those people. Congratulations. Those are the super pigeons.
If I can say something, if you don't mind me saying something, I may say the wrong thing. I know last year in our gold band race, where we had the 4 300-mile races back to back to back to back, people had to buy bands to get on that race, right? And I know a couple people, and I don't want to mention names, each bought 40 bands each, okay? And I know other people that bought 5 bands, 10 bands, whatever. And the people that bought 40 bands each, one guy had
fizzled out.
One bird made it to the end. The other one didn't have one complete. So don't sit back and say, oh, I can't fly because he bought 40 bands. I haven't got a chance. I only bought 5. Guess what? I know a lot of guys that bought 5, 10 bands. They finished and they won money against these guys that thought they were going to do it.
Listen, you got Alfred Combe van Zoren, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right? He's the only flyer in all of Holland to win an Olympiad overall ace pigeon.
Right.
And a first national.
Right.
Okay, hold on. In Holland. He's flying against Koopman, Hoymans. I can name more big names.
What kind of volumes?
They're sending mega volumes. This man is sending less than 20 pigeons to a race. His whole team, he's had the biggest team he's ever had of 30 pigeons. What I'm saying is, pigeon flyers, don't use the words like I can't compete. Yes, you can. Go out there and compete. Keep trying.
So he's flying against guys that put in 200, 300 birds against them.
Yes.
And this man only flies with 20 birds. And
18 birds, 16 birds.
That story is, I believe it works. I know a top-notch flyer. I don't want to mention any names. One year he won 20 out of 22 races in the club of 25 guys.
Right.
And then the combine, he won. He was right up there. Okay. But this man, he said, how are your young birds doing? He said, they're doing great. Very nice. I said, how many young birds you got to fly? Right now I have 28. I said, oh, that's nice. You're going to fly with those 20? No. I fly with 24. I said, oh, what about the other 4? What are they, ugly, stupid, or what are they? No. My rule is I start with 24. I eliminate those 4.
That's what his rule is.
So there you go.
That's right.
Meanwhile, you get some other person say, well, I had 70 or I had 80. Now I'm down to 46. I don't think I can fly this year. I know.
Crimea River. Back to you, Leah.
Crimea River.
Quality, not quantity, as Frank Eichhorn would say. I would believe that as well. I think somebody else made a good analogy where it's like buying lottery tickets. It's kind of like buying a lottery ticket or buying 20 lottery tickets. Are your chances of winning any better because you bought 20? What are the odds? I don't know.
No.
Anyway, food for thought.
I think sometimes you have to use this. Can I concentrate better on 24? How many dogs can you keep? Or
Right.
if you have 10 dogs, okay, I could keep one dog, concentrate on one dog. 2 dogs, pretty good.
Okay,
3, but I don't need,
we get
you
it.
know,
We
what I'm
get-
saying.
we
Your
get it.
concentration is better.
We get it.
Mike Vandiak says it is pigeon against pigeon, not fancier against fancier. You only have to beat one pigeon to win. The second place pigeon. Every bird in South Africa is competing against the other 5,999 birds. That's right. And like Frank
That's it.
Eichhorn says, and a bit of luck. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a bit of luck.
And I mean, it's
what,
like
Mike
when
said.
you say about the limits, when you go to the casino, they don't put a limit on how much money you can blow at the casino, do they? They don't stop you and say, I'm sorry,
Nope.
you're only allowed to spend $1,000 here today, sir. They don't really care, right?
I have talked though to some top European one-loft flyers.
Right.
They don't feel it's very good that these certain one-lofts allow certain individuals to do videos at the lofts to promote it, boost it, and blah blah blah. They don't enter. They say those races are bought.
You mean they're using it for advertising?
Well, they're buying the races.
Right.
There's those out there who can buy the races. You know, flying down to visit somebody and do a private, hey, my name's Gary Smith. Come on to the blah, blah, blah race. It's a great race. I'm down here. Come on down. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically what that's doing is that's exchanging money back and forth is what I see. And there's something, you know where they say where there's smoke, there's fire?
Moving on, Mike Vandiak says, know your limit and play within it. I would certainly agree. Moving on to how to prepare your pigeons for the Pioneer One Loft race. I know Ryan Richard did a little video today. What are we going to see in this video, Ryan?
Well, like I said, let's just take the American birds that we are going to be picking up. When we pick them up, they're going to come out of the box. They're going to go into their basket. They're going to get a shot to eat and drink. This is what they're going to be faced with. Leah, go ahead and show.
Okay, I'm going to show here. Let me get it queued up. Here we go. Okay, what are we looking at here, please?
Well, birds they're eating, they're drinking
Through the bobs.
through the basket. They got to eat, they got to drink, they got to eat, they got to drink.
Through the dowling. Sorry.
Yeah, through the dowling. And this here is given within about 15 minutes. Okay, but you see them doing their own little thing, putting the head through. We got that on a time lapse. So guys, get your birds used to eating and drinking in a basket, because the American birds, when they come out of that shipping box, they're going to get an opportunity to eat and drink right away. And you know what? I tell you this now, get them ready at your own place to feel that feeling.
If I can say something. Those birds are weaned into, out of the loft, number one, is a shock. They're going into a basket, not that basket. They went into another basket. And then they get fed into a tray, which they're not used to. And I put the drinker in.
Mm-hmm.
They got to learn how to drink out of that drinker. Now, these birds got transferred into another basket. Okay? This is the very first day they had to eat and drink through the dowling, as you can see that. Okay? So now I take these birds now and I take them and I'll put them, hate to say it, I'll put them in a cardboard box for a day and I won't feed them. I'll have holes in it, lots of air. They're going to go in the dark. That's another shock, okay? Another shock treatment. And it's like, for example, when I was 6 years old,
I'll be right.
we changed beds. Oh, that's a shock. Oh, my dad bought a new car. That's a shock.
And
Now we got another.
we get this. It's
So-
taking
so
a kid to
what I'm
daycare,
saying is-
kindergarten, grade
Right.
1, different school,
Right.
different
And the
things.
more you can
Educate.
give these education to these birds, it's like
It's helping them succeed.
It's helping
This is-
them
this is-
succeed.
this
You're,
is
you're,
it.
you're getting
And-
through
and-
these shocks.
and
These
the-
shocks.
And this is what I say. The
The
birds,
bird will handle
the
shock.
birds that are going to go from your loft into the cardboard box that gets onto the post where the guy shakes it, drops it, loses it in the post. It comes 2 days later. Hold on. They now get taken out and they go like this. The adrenaline's still running. They're burning. They go into a basket and now they have an opportunity to eat and drink. Guys, all we're saying to do, give them that little bit of education, because you want to know what? When they come out of that basket or out of that shipping box and they go into that basket,
It's not.
they have time to recoup.
It's
and
not
relax.
only that, Ryan. It's training them to come to another bedroom. That's it. You know.
Right.
I remember years ago. Oh, my dad bought a 1958 Cadillac.
But we don't need a story.
I never was in a car that ran so smooth, and I was in the back seat, and literally, folks, I puked because it was just like I couldn't believe it. Okay, so you're training the kids to learn change.
Right.
Change. They have to learn change.
And this is what I say. Feed your birds different feeds. Those birds there, they're eating large reindeer corn, large, thick, heavy, big, plumpy corn. Why? Because maybe when I send those birds to whatever race I'm sending them to, maybe that guy, he's only feeding that. And I tell you, when they eat the large, big, heavy, thick corn, I don't give a shit what you put in front of them after that. They eat it like it's what? Everything else they eat is candy. So if they give them barley, they give them wheat, they give them peas, they eat it, they eat it, they eat it. But if they're not used to eating the big, heavy shit, and guess what? I send them to another race, and the guy says, I give you first big, heavy shit. My birds go backwards. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forwards. So I'm teaching them to go forwards.
If I can say a word as well, don't feed them straight pellets. You know, it's got high protein, it's got straight pellets. Then you send them to a one-loft race. The guy doesn't feed pellets at all.
Yeah,
and you put grain in front of them.
They
go, wait a minute. I'm not going to eat this. And what he does is he goes about 3 days without eating. But you got to remember the shock of you transporting, the shock of a new loft, the shock. And then he doesn't eat for 3 days. Guess what? The old bug crawls on him. The stress bug crawls on him. What?
And then everything else climbs on top of that. What do you got?
You got a problem.
You got a problem. And we don't want you to have problems. We want you to succeed. So, hey.
That's right.
Take it as a tip. You can do what you want with it, but we want to see you guys win wherever you send birds in the world. Leah, take it away.
Josh said he's going to drive his birds up when Ryan comes to Buffalo. So please, when you speak to Ryan tomorrow or on Wednesday when he calls you, coordinate that with him. That's not a problem at all. Premier League, I went on the website, One Loft Stats, and it lists all the One Loft races of USA. Some One Loft race loft returns, start to finish, are fantastic. All the stats are there for everyone to see. Super. If you're into stats, check that out. Mike Vandriak, I bought LMR a housewarming gift for his new loft. Oh, that's super thoughtful of you, Mike.
You bought me
Glenn
a gift?
Thornley says, teach them with the feline too. Absolutely. Whatever they're going to be around and be used to. Guys, last week we talked about if you're into nets, then this is not the One Loft race for you because we don't use nets. We also have a lot of cats. So if cats aren't your thing, we're going to pre-warn you now. The cats are used to the birds are used to the cats, and they're all very harmonious. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, don't worry about that. The birds will get used to the cats. No problem. We have no problem. Within 3 or 4 or 5 days, your birds will know the cats are no problems. That's it. I'm not going to, don't send them here because I got cats. I have a system that the cats respect the birds. And bottom line, don't worry. You've seen in that video a cat walk by. That's all part of your birds got to learn. Okay? The cats are friendly. There's no problem.
Yeah, there are these birds here that come to our place. They'll see the cats on the lawn. They'll see the cat on the board. They'll see this, that. You get the cats in the loft. Look at last year. I had the cats in the loft. Once you allow everything to get used to everything, there's no problems. There's no problems. You see last year, the people come in the loft. Come and look at the pigeons. There's no problems. I'm not afraid of it. I invite the people in. The cameras are on the pigeons at all times. So, you know.
Mike Vandriak, can Ryan pick up Niagara birds when he goes to Buffalo?
Oh, I guess.
Well, you're coming back anyway.
When I'm coming back, I can if you want. Sure.
No problem.
I would, if it was me, I would have my birds, and you're in this area, I'd make the drive up this weekend.
Yeah,
I would. I'd get them in quick. Don't wait for me.
Yeah, I know that that's a nice thought, Ryan, that you can do a pit stop in Niagara. However, you and I both know what it is like to bring birds across the border, what that travel day is like, dealing with the border, dealing with the government, blah, 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 blah. If you're running late and guys are waiting for you to pick their birds up, you know how that's going to go. So, in my honest opinion, I think it would be best, Mike, if you brought your birds up to the loft, meet with Richard, come and take a look at his new loft, have a fun afternoon, make a day of it. Let's communicate and let's work together. And we would love to see you, Mike. So, I think it's best, if everybody just comes. If you're able to come to the clubhouse and drop your birds off in person, we would recommend that you do that so we can get a nice photo of you and you can see your birds being checked in. Hopefully that's okay with everybody. Okay.
I would like to say something. Well, Mike's on the line. I would like to say thank you, Mike, for helping. He helped people to have birds in the race. They didn't have birds, and he raised young ones for a person I know.
Right.
To put the birds in the race.
That's what we want.
To come in.
We want people to help people.
I just want to say, Mike helped to
Yeah, that's
help
great.
someone.
That's good.
That's super.
Good.
Alfred, I think is, I'll just summarize here what Alfred is saying. I think what Alfred is saying is he'd like to see a race that everybody has an equal shot at. Even those a small enthusiast can win. And Alfred, I couldn't agree with you more. And that's what the great thing is about the Pioneer One Loft race. We have 233 opportunities to win right from the get-go, right from the first trainer, the 2-mile duck farm. And we're hoping that that's going to give everybody an equal opportunity at some sort of a prize, because we know how difficult one loft racing can be. And it's hard when the only thing that you can win are the last, three or four races at the end of the season. That's difficult. So we're hoping to see lots of winners this year.
And I do think there will be a time that comes somewhere in this world where there's going to be a one loft race that's going to put a limit and have mega money. And I think that's a good day too. I think it's great to be able to put 100 birds in. But again, when you win it, you were sure lucky you sent 100, right? You didn't really win it, but you did win it because the bird won it.
I think what you're saying is put 3-4 birds in, max. Let's see if you can pick your birds.
Well, sure.
That's what you're trying to say. Not like throwing what they say.
Throw a lot of shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, right.
But there has to be a bit of everything. There has to be those races where you can do that. There should be races the other way. It's the same thing with these first drops. And I look at the one loft stats there in America, and I'm not knocking it. It's great. Somebody's put that together and blah, da, dee, dee, dee. But none of the races, not one of them runs on a real schedule. They're cherry picking every day that there is. 99% of the days are cherry picked. They don't run in a consecutive order. That's what I've noticed. So, they fly for a simple day, fast days. The quality of the birds gets less, not better, it gets less. I think the stats are good. I think people want to see the birds finish good. I think overall 99% of the one lofts should stick to 16, 17, 1800 yard days because most of the races don't put the work in. And that's the days they need to participate in. I don't know. But I you know what, they'll come after me on that one. So I think they need to have a bit of all the races. A bit of everything.
I believe let's go on that day. If we can't, we wait till the next day.
Yeah, but they don't do that.
They don't do that. I know what you're saying. Now, if we're
They-
going to liberate and there's
But
a 10-mile-an-hour headwind, we're going to liberate. If it's a nice day, they're going to get liberated.
Do you know what?
That's
That's what they do, and that's totally
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
everybody seems to enjoy that format because there's tons of people that enter these races, and that's great. We have something for everyone. That's not the way our format is, and we're just concentrating on our format and what we do. And the rest of them can do what they do. They're doing a great job so far. They've been doing it a number of years, and there's people that
Yeah.
go back year after year. That means that there's a need for it, and that's great. We're going to
That's
move on.
super.
Michael Peevler, what about Stew Whip? Still hanging in the loft. Stew Whip. Well,
Stu Whip the mouse. Shit, we got, what do we got now? We got 16 cats here. I would be the most scaredest thing in the world to be a mouse living here.
That mice that you had a few?
Yeah, you gone.
Oh, I think they're gone now.
I think
Well,
it's
when you get up to this level of felineness, you don't want to be a mouse. I don't. You know what? I drew a picture of Mickey Mouse, and the cats were eating the paper.
you definitely don't want to be a mouse at the Pioneer Village anymore. Robert Daughtry, I know buyers Audi feed has no peas. Is that due to high protein and they don't digest it well?
High protein's good for pigeons.
Yeah, you don't race on protein. You
develop on it.
You develop at the start, but none of the good mixes have peas. Very, very little to no peas. Carbs, fats, and sugars. Forget protein.
Protein's good for develop feather and bones.
At the
Very
beginning.
good.
At the beginning. Yeah.
Speaking of protein, Mike Vanderyak is wondering if we're going to have chicken wings at the Eager Beaver. Not sure about chicken wings at the Eager Beaver, Mike, but we're certainly going to have some cat dogs on the roller for you at the clubhouse. Not to worry about that. Moving on. Frizzy's Hutch. Hi, I won with just one bird in 325 miles, $17,000.
There you go.
Well done.
Wow.
Fritzy.
Very nice.
You see right there.
Well done.
That you imagine how high that gentleman was on winning that one bird in. I'm sure he beat a lot of big names. I don't know what race it was, but hey, you won $17,000. You'll never forget that day. You'll never forget that pigeon. And congratulations. And remember, on that day, there was a hell of a lot of donators. Go ahead, Leah.
Jay-Z says 500 birds, 1,000 a bird. Winner takes all. Sounds like a plan. Alfred says, Ryan, when you come to Romania in August for the award of the best pigeon of the world, Penny is in the top 3. Are they doing it in August now? Romania? Is that they postponed it till August? Did you know that Ryan? That's the Olympiad. That was supposed to happen.
Alfred, are you going?
2 years ago.
Are you going, Alfred? Leah, I'm not getting invited to go to. Can I go to Romania for the weekend?
Sure. Graham Moore says, channel's getting bigger. Good luck with it. Well, thanks, guys. It's only getting bigger because of you and your support and your subscriptions and your likes and your shares. And we thank you guys so much for doing that and for promoting this great sport. Alfred says, yes. So, yes, in Romania this August, the Olympiad. Ryan, you might have to go there for the weekend.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about next? We had a pro tip from Feathers Elite breeder Kevin Zarafa from K&J Lofts that we were going to show last week, and we got sidetracked on it. So how about we show this little pro tip from Kevin Zarafa about motivating, and then talk a little bit about Kevin as well as his loft tour that I just released, I believe, on Saturday. So we're going to show this little tip here from Kevin Zarafa. Here we go. I hope this is the right tip. If not, oh well, here we go.
Hey guys, Ryan, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario, Kevin Zarafa. We are here in the south of the UK. Now hold on. I always think Hamptons, but it's not the Hamptons. Where are we?
Hampshire. We're in Hampshire.
Hampshire.
It's Portsmouth.
Portsmouth. Wherever we are. Good pigeons here today. Here's a tip for you guys for racing. Something that you like to use for racing, and you learned this from another racing sport.
Yeah, so a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, he trains greyhounds and he races them, and basically he told me that he has milk powder, which is for dogs, and he said to me that he puts it in for his stock pigeons. He would mix it up as a milk sort of like with water and stuff, put it in for the birds, and they would go crazy for it. So I said to him, "Can you get me a sack? I'm going to try it myself." But instead of mixing it with the water, I thought, well, maybe it'll go better on the corn. And I thought I'm going to try it with the race birds because it's really high in sort of like sugars, and I thought, you know, energy-wise, maybe it's good for the birds. Anyway, I tried it, mixed a bit of oil on the food, put it on top of the food, and I feed it sort of like a couple of times a week. And the birds love it; they go crazy for it. They exercise really well on it, and
Works good.
This has been good. So
Now, can we take a look at it?
of course.
So put some up in your hand.
It's also, obviously being milk powder, it's obviously like a bit of a probiotic as well. So
And I tasted this before. It's very sweet, and you said it's very high in sugar.
high in sugar.
And you will just oil the feed, and you put this on, so you see it covering the feed, a nice coating on there, and you will let it sit for what, about 10-12 hours before you feed it?
Yeah, so what I'll probably do, well not what I'll probably do, what I do is I go in there, I'll put oil on the corn, and then mix the corn around, let the oil sort of spread across all the corn, all the grains. I'll grab some of the milk powder, sprinkle it all on top, give it a good mix, close the lid, and then literally I'll do that on the last thing I do before I go in from the pigeons on the night time. Next day it's ready to feed. So it dries up, I'll give the corn another little stir around, then feed it to the birds.
Guys, there's a racing tip. There's a racing tip. Don't say we don't give you the racing tips. It's not all about breeding tips. Good tip, Kevin. Thank you very much, guys. Get your milk powder. You got it from dogs. Greyhound Racing, guys. And greyhounds, they run fast, and we want our pigeons to fly fast. Kevin, thank you very much for this tip, my friend.
You're welcome. Cheers.
There we go. A little tip from Kevin Zarafa from the UK. K&J Racing Pigeons will be joining us for season 5, so stay tuned for that. Guys, what do you think about that tip? Let's talk about it.
Again, as I talked to Guy from Van Roby's, we talked about sugar. Sugar is a big part of the fuel in pigeons.
The dark corn.
The dark corn. And that greyhound, they use that for the racing greyhounds. And I'll tell you, you lick your finger, taste it. It's sweet. You could put it in your coffee. It's almost like going with sugar.
So it could be almost the same. I know when we went a few years ago, just before that COVID, to Xavier's, and he was getting formula powdered
Baby formula.
Mother's milk. You can buy it in a can. And he was putting it diluted with water, then soaking his feed in it, and then pull the feed out.
Give it the next day.
Let it dry. Give it the next day. Very, very good. There you go.
All tips you see again.
Little inch by inch.
Those are the tips.
Or like you say, leave no stone unturned.
David Tracy says, I've used the powder for many years now. Troy says, I remember when I was a kid, I used to eat milk powder with sugar. Well, there you go. Dekine Loft says that he uses it to bake. Not the dog milk, obviously, but probably he's talking about like powdered human milk. That was, yes, dog milk, right? Dog milk?
Yeah, it's
No, it's not dog's milk.
Yeah, that's dog.
Yeah,
That's
it
for
was.
dogs.
Is it?
That was for greyhounds.
Yeah, but what's the product? It's not dogs.
We would have to go
milk.
back and screenshot it. No, it's for greyhound, for racing, for the race dogs. They put it on the feed, or they put it in the water.
Let me say something.
Yes.
Years ago, where I was raised, my brother and I, we used to go down to the local farmer, which is right beside our property,
Right.
and Yake used to milk the cows. And we were there at 4:00 in the afternoon. He said, guys, my brother and I were 8, 10 years old. Come on in. We just milking. The milk was warm right off the cow. He said, here, take a glass. You take a glass. He's best thing for you. Unpatch your eyes right off the cow.
Can I ask you something?
And look how I turned out.
How was the toilet?
Mike
we
Vandiak
never
says,
got sick.
I started using milk powder in the 70s. The calcium is good for the stock hens. The kind, don't worry about it. Honest mistake. Fritzy's Hutch says, I feed dark corn, not regular yellow corn for my birds.
Good job. Lots of sugar. He should get. Wait a minute. Read that last comment. Who's that gentleman?
Well, I don't know if it's a
Say-
gentleman or a lady, but it's Fritzy's Hutch from YouTube. Says, I feed dark corn, not regular yellow corn for my birds.
Fritzy's Hutch, if you are in the U.S., get your birds, get entered into our Pioneer race. You can put one bird in for $350 or a 5-bird team for $1,500 Canadian, 233 prizes that are for grabs, plus the add-on prizes, which we're not going to talk about that now. But come on in. You've got some good luck. I can feel the energy from you, my friend. Go ahead, Leah.
Kind Law says, Gabby uses honey in tea after the races.
You can use honey. Yes, you can.
Tracy was also raised on farm fresh milk. Premier League says it is also the best way to feed red mineral and black mineral to put it on the feed.
Yeah, I like that idea. The same thing. Well, in Europe, I didn't see anyone that did that, but I like to oil the feed a bit and get the red mineral on. Good to do a couple times a week, but I still think you should have it in the loft fresh for the birds. Again, 2 spoonfuls every 2 days. Take it out and add new 2 spoonfuls. The birds will love you for it, and allow them to get it when they want it.
There you go. Mike Green says that he always uses honey. So you just put it in their water, Mike Green? I guess that's what they put, a tablespoon in the water. Is that how that works?
Yeah, he puts them in the water. I don't know.
It's like an electrolyte. It boosts the bird up, right? You got sugar. You can use Gatorade, put honey in the water. It's like a boost.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not hurting them, that's for sure.
No.
Fritzy's Hutch is in California. We are definitely accepting birds from California, from all over the states. I think the Kind Loft is from California. I think he lives in California, as far as I know.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you, the Kind Loft, Leah, when I go to California, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat. And I'm going to eat at that man's restaurant. Because this guy can cook.
Mm-hmm.
Not only can he cook, but he's also great with the camera. And on that note, before we move on to our next topic and I get to the comments, as you guys see, if you follow our page, today was the beginning of Pioneer 2022 Motivational Mondays starting today. Every Monday, we give a little Monday motivational quote to get everybody going and focused for the week. And we are always looking for photos taken by our participants that we can use in these motivational Mondays, because it makes it a lot better than me just searching the internet for pigeon photos. So today's motivational Monday photo came from Kind Loft. He has some wonderful photos on his Facebook page. If you are not following him, I suggest you do follow him on Facebook, because he has some great photos. But this is his shot today. Our first Pioneer Motivational Monday comes from Kind Loft. It all begins with a dream. Sure does, folks. The dream begins next week, right?
It's starting, and again, we're taking in the birds. We are a small race. We are what we call an intimate race. We want people to follow their birds from what we call start to finish every day, 7 days a week. We are going to keep you with your birds. Your birds, you are actually, and the one thing I can guarantee, in our race, you will know your birds or our birds or all of our birds in this race more than you know your birds in your own loft. That's our goal. And that's why the race works so well, keeping you guys informed, up to speed, feeding in the loft, and actual feeding, actual watching the birds loft fly. We're not the keyboard warriors. We don't say, oh, it's a beautiful day, the birds are flying great. That's a bunch of shit. No, we're going to show you. We're going to show you the lazy ones, the good ones, the strong ones, the ups, the downs. But remember, guys, we're here to have a good time, get great results, and have some fun. Again, I say everything, you got to have fun. If you're not having fun, you're in the wrong sport, and this is a great sport. Take it away, Leah.
It sure is, and we're all in this together, folks. So what did we have to show? We had some things that we wanted to show on tonight's show. We had a show and tell, or we were going to show flight pulling. What are we doing?
With the cut flights or no?
I can go and get it.
We can get it. All right. Did you want to did you want to do the? We could do. You want to show the two birds, Leah, for the auction?
Oh, you want to show our first two birds for our Pioneer auction? Whatever you want. I don't. It's up to you. I don't really care. Whatever you want. Show and tell. Who wants show and tell? Michael
Show and
Peebler's
tell.
always game for show and tell. So maybe we'll do a little show and tell.
Is this? We're gonna put this in with the fuzzy part.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You want to talk about that? So maybe Dad, go get the two auction birds, and Ryan, you could just talk a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah, sure. So go grab the two, Ricky. Bring them both in. Perfect. All right. We have any questions, Leah, before we start? Because I don't want to get in.
There's no questions. No. Glenn Thornley, though, he would like show and tell, and Dekine also would like show and tell.
And don't worry, guys. There's no felines this week. No felines. So I guess how do you word this one, Leah? When a real good friend that you knew for quite a few years, helped you out a lot, he passes away.
So this is our good friend Bob Bodden. Ryan's a very good friend. Ryan, I don't know. Why don't you talk a little bit about Bob?
Oh, geez, he was quite a guy. Hell of a pigeon man. One of the better pigeon men I ever knew. Good with the eye sign. He had good pigeon fingers, and it's a shame that he's no longer with us. It was a shame that he couldn't have pigeons. His partner sort of didn't allow him to keep pigeons, stopped them when he retired. And I'll tell you, he fought with pigeons right till the end. He had friends. We kept him in the game as long as you could. But again, his partner, she didn't really like him being with the pigeons, which was hell. But the guy always enjoyed his pigeons. He knew a lot about pigeons. He knew pedigrees. He knew how to read eye sign. He was a good drinker. A great guy to go out with, a great guy to have a meal with, a great guy to bounce anything off of questions or whatever. He always was a hell of a good guy, I think. I was lucky enough to meet him, in 2007. That's when I met Fuzzy Bodden, and he spent, you asked Richard, how many nights did he spend here, sleep on our couch and help build lofts and look at pigeons and buy pigeons together. And
oh, yeah. And when we started the Lakeport Club, we were the originators of the Lakeport Pigeon Club. Bob Bodden was here every single weekend. Yeah. And for a few years.
Every weekend.
Every weekend we had fun here. We drank beer. We cooked up chops.
We did everything.
We had good fun.
I went to California with him to a one loft race. I never got to go with him to Europe. By that time, he wasn't allowed to go. But he was a good guy. Super pigeon man, superhuman. And
I always say one thing. He loved the birds. He loved the pigeon men, the people, and had good advice. Yeah. Always straight shooting, good person.
Yeah.
And for some, I'm just saying, stop the music. Yeah. Once you stop that music, take something. I believe that took something out of him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And even the same thing when it got towards the last about 5 years, his partner wouldn't really allow him to come over anymore. We couldn't pick him up and bring him over as we used to do.
Yeah.
It would always be no. And that was another shutting off of the music. And it's kind of sad, but Fuzzy now he's racing pigeons up there. And Leah, if you can show the picture of the seagull. I don't know if you have that photo.
I do, yeah, just a second. Yes, I do. Okay, so why don't you tell everybody what's the deal about the seagull and Bob?
The seagull was a Van Reet cock down out of a pair of Dean Pallet pigeons. He was a late bred in 2000.
He's an 09.
He's an 09. He was a late bred. He bred in 2009. He was a late bred. Mm-hmm. And he came out and he was the henniest looking cock ever. And Richard and Bob both liked him. But before Bob seen him, I says to Ricky, I says, just get rid of it. We don't need another late bred. But he was a real pretty looking pigeon.
But I said, we're going to, this darn pigeon, we got to keep this pigeon. And Ryan says to me, you know what, Dad? You're full of shit.
Let's get rid of it. And then Bob come around the corner.
Bob Bodden was there.
Bob come around the corner and handled him.
Took it in his hands, and he says, "Oh,
you could." He says,
"Don't you get rid of this."
You could found a loft on this pigeon. If I had a pigeon like this, so we ended up keeping him. We laughed about him. We had good laughs about him. And his first year breeding, he won out in San Diego, children off of this, and the bird kept going and breeding super pigeons. And today we're going to show two youngsters out of this cock. He's a 2009. And we're going to donate these two young pigeons.
Now, I just want to give people an idea.
Yeah.
These birds were weaned from their parents when they were like 16 days old. They were put into a regular crate, and they've been put out into the loft. Now they shuffled them into this crate. Very good training for them to adapt.
And I will just I'll hand you one.
Okay.
And I will hold one. And these are going to be in the Pioneer auction. There, you take the first one. And I will take the second one. Because I know if Bob was here today and Bob handled these two youngsters, he would give you the thumbs up and say, this is how God intended the pigeons to be bred. They are beautiful. They are the old Staff Van Reet pigeons. But here's the first one.
God. Look at the front of that bird. Look at the butts on the front of that wing, the wings.
And there, the first one is, and the ring number, I will just give it to you. It's an IF band. It's 3427. You're going to be a mealy, some white flights cocks.
Turn the front of that bird so people can see the front.
There's the back. Hold on, I'm going to turn.
The butts of the wings on that bird.
Super strong pigeon. Both of these are going to be up for grabs. And these birds also,
a bonus.
They have a bonus with them. They've got money bands on them. They've got the Pioneer money bands on, $10 band. So you're going to get to fly for that money as well. It's a little bonus incentive.
So how many races will that be just for the $10?
9.
9 races.
9 races in that category. And that's the first one.
This is a super.
And here's the super little doll. If this is a hen, you got a real gem here.
Oh, isn't she nice?
For those of you who like the old Staff Van Reet war paint, both of these are the same. Got the third bar.
Tight. Feel the tightness in that wing.
And this is mated to his granddaughter.
No, great-granddaughter.
Great-granddaughter, sorry. And there you see the white flights. I believe this one's going to be a hen back. Is real strong.
Look at the curve on those flights.
Curve on the flights, yeah. Everything.
You see that? Look at.
Oh, yeah, you see it all here. And they look just like the father.
The kind says white toenails. We got some white toenails?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, white toenails. You see the white toenails? But these are the two, and this is the band number 3428. So both of these pigeons will be up for grabs. They're going to fly in the Pioneer one loft race. You'll have the opportunity to own. If you buy one, you own one. If you buy two, you buy two. They will fly in the 9 race series. They'll also be in the Master Breeder Award as well, which we're going to talk about that at a later date. And they do have the Pioneer bands on. So you get a little bit of fun there as well.
So if you're the first $10 bird in, look at the arc on those flights.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
That's incredible.
But there you see the two. Bob would have picked them, I know that. And it's funny, he passed away today, and I asked you. And these are the type of pigeons you pull out. Exactly what he would pick.
Yeah.
You know, they have everything and more. So Fuzz, come down and play with these two. Somebody might get something real lucky.
These are full nest mates to the mealy-pied cock.
Yeah, that's right.
I can bring him out.
To the mealy-pied cock. And again, let me ask you, how many people right now have pigeons from Bob Bodden that Bob Bodden approved that said this was a good one? That cock, that mealy-pied cock, Bob picked them, you picked them. I didn't pick him because I just was sick
about the seagull.
The seagull, the seagull. Yeah. Bob picked them and you picked them. and he turned out to be a cracker, breeding the good ones. He's still, if you come to our place now today and you see him, he's still a yearling. You can still handle him. He's got two youngsters in the nest that are this big.
We should have brought him on.
I can get Ricky to go get him. We'll put these two back in the crate.
So Loft Manager Richard is going to go and get him so you can see the father of, is the father of those two, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Grab the
Just want to
mother
make
if you
sure.
Well, she's on the other one.
Well, Loft Manager Richard's going to go and grab the seagull, and then Rita has a question for Loft Manager Richard. You want the question first?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Brian Mansker, I believe it's Brian, is looking for Rita. Want to know how nice Brian was? Brian privately messaged me and said,
We're in Philadelphia.
I don't know where Brian lives. He lives in the U.S.
Right.
Brian said if Rita would like a pigeon for the ladies' league, he could supply her with 1 or 2 pigeons. And I said, well, you have to get a hold of Rita on Facebook to ask her. Well, wasn't that nice?
Very nice.
Again, you know what?
Round of applause.
Very, very nice.
Now, hey, Rita, the ball's in your court. Get a hold of Brian Mansker. Play the game, Rita. You love watching this show. And you want to know what? Who wouldn't? It's a great show. It's pigeon sport. It's pigeon fun. It's all season long. Go ahead, Leah.
Okay, speaking of Rita, she's got a question before you go out to the loft. Richard, Richard, do you have to feed a baby if you wean before 16 days? Thanks.
Do you have to feed him? No.
Yeah.
But
Do you have to feed a baby if you wean before 16 days?
Okay, my question is, how much before? If you wean at 14 days and up, 16 days, you don't have to feed them. You put the feed down, maybe dunk the head in water a couple times, and that's it.
They'll eat.
They'll eat. Away they'll go. Yeah. Don't give them corn. Give them a little bit of small seed to get them.
Just to get the wheels rolling.
Get the wheels rolling. You know, if you have youngsters that you've already weaned on that system and they're eating, and you put that new one in there, they pick it up right away. And also, if you have your nest box and you put a bit of feed in the little container in the box, when the parents start picking the feed, the youngsters, when they're this size, they're watching the parents eat, so they learn.
And
right?
you know, a lot of the lofts I was in Europe, they all have, a lot of them have galley pots in the nest boxes. And that is just for see, do. And
That's
remember,
right.
when you were a little kid, when you were 7, you wanted to play with the 10-year-olds, didn't you? I want to play with them. Even though they're playing this sport, I want to play because they learn by seeing, you know. But anyways, go grab the seagull.
Yeah, you know, and I find leaving the youngsters. Sorry.
Glenn wants to know if Unplugged is around too. So maybe go get Seagull and Unplugged.
What? The plugger baby?
Yeah.
From this year?
Yeah.
Unplugged, yeah. Glenn
Unplugged.
wants to see it.
Now I got 2 of them, and I got another 2 in the nest.
Wow. Go grab the seagull, bring it out to me. Come on. Up.
Okay.
Up.
1 second, please. I know you guys are just trying to get rid of me.
We want to get rid of them.
Rita says, Brian was kind to contact me. Thanks. That's awesome. That is what the Pioneer Village and the Pioneer spirit is all about. Well done, guys. Make that connection. We'd love to have Rita part of the Flying Bitches this year. Premier League, what is the benefits weaning so early? Why not leave them until 24 days old? Good question.
Was a pigeon question that came down there. Read that one more time, Amelia. Sorry.
What is the benefits of weaning so early? Why not leave them until 24 days old?
You know what? You learn. You always learn the best is young. The younger you learn. You know.
So I think my question to Premier League is, why did you choose 24 days? Why is 24 days the magic day, as opposed to 16 or 14 or 27? Why do you select 24?
I think the longer they stay with the parents got to work harder. I think pigeons will eat at 18 days on their own, get them to eat, get them to start living. They're not going backwards. They're just sitting there eating and growing, and they're learning, and they're developing. The brain develops. That's my opinion. For instance, take children that go to Montessori school. It's an amazing thing that you see. I've seen the Montessori kids, and I've seen the regular, what do they call it? Public school kids. Yeah. It's like night and day difference. And I'm not talking about the 10 or the 12, 13-year-olds. I'm talking, look at kids 4 years old to 7 years old. Take that development in both schools, you're blown away. I seen it firsthand, blown away. If I had kids, they'd be going to Montessori school because the hands-on, they teach them to ride the bike young.
Daniel Herman, will the youngsters be on the FIPA site to bid on, or how is that going to work? Absolutely. All birds listed for our Pioneer Young Bird auction will be on our Feathers Elite website. We will do a show on them like we do normal auction birds, where Ryan and I will talk a little bit about each one. Ryan's going to show each one. Also, with the auction birds, they will not be available to bid on until they've been in the loft, acclimated to the loft, and broken to the loft. Correct, Ryan?
Yeah, that's correct. The birds are going to be in the lofts. We want all the birds that are going to be donated to be out and in multiple times. We'll have all the photos done, all the pedigrees done, and then we're going to auction off. So that way you guys know the birds are out and coming in and out, in and out. Now, at that point, I can't guarantee if they can race. I can't guarantee if they can fly, but we will have them all broken so you guys can bid in confidence because we want you guys to have fun. That's what it's about.
Brian Mansker, if anyone needs help, I have a couple of young birds out of Ornette Cox. If anybody is interested, please contact Brian Mansker. Thank you for that offer, Brian. Super nice of you. Jay-Z says, as far as weaning early, it's easier on the parents. Ryan agrees. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I am going to be, maybe I make a couple calls. I am, again, for Team Grovers, I'm going to be looking for a team of 5. Special pigeons, obviously the breeder will own the pigeons at the end, but all prize money earned will go for Grovers. These people aren't pigeon people.
Who is Grovers? Grovers is a restaurant that Ryan visits whenever he goes to Buffalo. Ryan has gotten them into pigeon racing, so much so that they have put a team of 5 into our race. They don't have pigeons. They're restaurant owners. So we're looking for people to donate good quality birds to Team Grovers so they can fill their team of 5 because it was so super nice of them to support us and this race, and so super nice that they're pumped about getting involved. So if anybody is interested in providing pigeons for Grover's Restaurant out of Buffalo, New York, Team Grovers, we're looking for 5 supers for them. Tracy says, best food in Buffalo. Sure is.
Yeah, and I will say, going to Grover's, they've known me maybe 8 or 9 years now. Georgina, she's the owner. They'd even let me sleep in the parking lot with the pigeons overnight. Never gave me a hard time. Holy shit.
Holy shit. I hate to say it, folks. Holy shit. 13-year-old pigeon. You won't believe it. And he's on his second round of young ones now this year. Believe it or not, I gave him a break from last fall. Look at the snap in that wing.
I will tell you something.
How old is he? 2 years old. Man, he's 13 years old. I cannot believe it.
Do you know I could send this pigeon to any loft that I visited in Belgium or Holland? Anywhere. I could send him to any loft.
Yeah.
If I had to send one pigeon, it would be this pigeon. Because when they open up the basket, you know what they'd say to me?
Look at the curve in the flights.
Look at the step in this wing. Oh, look at him.
Look at the vibration.
This pigeon has everything. The square breeding feathers.
Oh,
he is a superb cockbird. He's the best of the best. And yes, this was one that Bob said he's a super.
I know. Again, I'll repeat it. It was a late bred that year, and I said, this pigeon is a darn good pigeon. Nice pigeon. Late bred. Ryan said, oh, get rid of him. I said, I don't know. Bob was there. Bob said, oh, you're going to make a mistake if you get rid of this one.
Yeah, and his first child, bred the San Diego Classic winner. And he went on to breed some real damn solid pigeons. Just what, a year and a half ago, he had his son. His son was a super. But what
Mealy pied cock.
the mealy pied cock, we call them. And
I'll get him as well.
oh geez, Ricky's getting them all tonight for show and tell tonight.
Leah. And then you want to see
this one's for Bob Bodden. He'd appreciate this show, I think.
what a pigeon.
What a pigeon.
What a pigeon, man.
And it really is. This is one of those ones. It's the way God intended a pigeon to be.
13 years old. And look at the young ones. He pumped both the young ones himself.
Look at the step in the wing.
Look at that step.
Look at the. You can't see it because of his white flights. Oh, there you see it on the back wing. Look at the step in this wing.
Look at the step.
Alfred, if you want, he could make the journey. I'd send this pigeon to Alfred in a second, and I'll tell you, when Alfred's dad got him in his hands, Art, you know what he'd say?
Oh.
He'd say, "Fuck, this is a hell of a pigeon."
I got his son, Mealy Pied Cock. I got another son.
Take him back, Ricky.
I'll go.
There you go, Bob. That one was for you, my friend.
Remember this one. Remember this one. I'm going to bring his son, from 2 years now?
Yeah.
His son.
There, taken.
Okay, go and get unplugged too.
Get the plugger too. Ricky doesn't know if he can get unplugged this week. I don't know. Ricky's got to go up the Twisted Sister. Don't slip off the Twister, Ricky.
Oh God, please don't. Brian Mansker says that he loves seeing all the birds. We love to show them. Frank Eichhorn says he would say, "Oh, God Verdoma."
God Verdoma. Yeah.
Verdoma. There we go. I can't say it. You say it much better than me. But yeah, so those two youngsters in that basket there, they will be available for activation into the one loft, as well as unplugged. We're going to put that one up for auction, as well as some great donations from some top flyers who've done incredibly well the last couple seasons of Pioneer. So we look forward to that. I know we've got some great donations. I think Frank Eichhorn's donating a couple. Brian Mansker, I think he's donating. Who else do we have donating, Ryan? Ian Sybil?
We've got
Klaus
Ian
Petzel.
Sybil, Klaus Petzel. I've got to look through the list there. I think Dave Ottaway's. Everyone asked me about the Dave Ottaway bird, so I think Dave's going to be. I don't know. I haven't heard from Dave. I haven't seen him on. I hope everything's well with him. Oh, we got
Fritzy's Hutch. Fritzy's Hutch says, San Diego Classic, that's a good bird. The race course is tough there. Mountain desert.
This is the man who knows. Yes, and it was in 2011, Miss San Diego. Her number is 977. She has passed away. She won 7 trainers first outright. She won the 100 mile, the first race, first on the clock. She bombed out on the 200. She come 40 minutes behind all by herself. And on race number 3, the final, there was, I think, 4 pigeons on the drop or 5 pigeons. And she was, again, first in the hole, first pool bird. She won first everything. Every pool, winner take all, loft auction, the whole kit and caboodle. Miss San Diego did it. And that was that cockbird that you see, the seagull. That was the first young from her. And I remember a fun story with Bob Bodden. We sent the pigeon in August to the California Classic, and this gentleman knows this race. Most of the pigeons get there April, May, and June. This pigeon got there in August, and it was a little squeaker. It was a young hen, just like you see in the videos there that we just shown, or like these babies you see back here, a slight mealy-pied hen. She got there, and the guy, Ahmad, said, boy, why would you send pigeons so late, eh? And that's just when we could cross the border. And we sent her. The pigeon ended up crushing the competition. But in the first 3 training flights, when they did 5 miles, they let them up in groups. And she was first in the back, first in the clock, first in the clock, first in the clock. I think on the first 2 or 3, she did that. And Bob said to me, he laughed. He said, he says, what are you getting so excited for? He goes, this is just a 2-mile toss. And I said, oh, yeah, but it's nice to see your name up in the front. And this pigeon did it a couple times. Well, she ended up doing it 7 or 8 or 9 times. She was first. And she did it at 50 miles, 70 miles, 40 miles. She did it in the big group releases. And going into that race, his mouth was just in awe of how this hen performed, and she did it right in the end when the money was down. She was a super ace pigeon. And Ahmad said, that's one of the best pigeons I ever flown. And Victor Valenzuela from Sherbet Loft, he wanted to purchase the hen from us. We didn't sell her. We brought her back. And
you lent the hen out to Brian Myers.
Yeah, Brian Myers.
What good luck did he have with the youngster?
Right.
Won 26 grand.
Yeah, 26
out of
grand.
that hen.
Out of that hen. So she did breed some good pigeons in California in multiple races. I even lent the hen to Bob King, the Bullet. But he didn't keep up his end of the deal and never sent my birds back. But hey, she went out there to mate with Red October. If anyone knows Bob King and Red October, that was a super pigeon.
Now, this cock here is going to fly double widowhood. If you got your good, that's the son from what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, here he is.
That's the mealy pied cock from
Yeah.
season 1 of Pioneer. If you guys might remember, he did super well with Loft Manager Richard on Loft Manager Richard's own personal race team.
Yeah, this bird had three top 10 combine results. What a super.
Says, I didn't realize you guys sent birds to other One Loft races. What other races have you sent birds to?
Actually, it's funny, Leah, that you talk about this today. We were talking, and I think in our history of really sending to races, I think we've sent to maybe 20 or 25 races. And we've won the Holiday Cup twice. I've won multiple prizes, first drops at the Triple Crown by Ron Steinbrenner. We won over there in the Salem there, the Empire or whatever it was called. We won that.
Salem.
I think for the amount of races we've ever sent to, we've done very, very well. But we just don't send to a lot of races. Again,
check that out.
We don't have. We don't really have the time. I mean, this is a full-time job here. What we're doing, the Facebook shows and the loft tours and the one loft race. We really don't have time to put into our own pigeons, and really, we don't really have many of our own pigeons. We don't. But we've had some good success. I think for the 20 or 25 races that we've participated in, we've gotten some good results.
Look at, he's got the third bar starting just like his dad.
Yeah, just like the one with the white head there.
Actually, his father is also his grandfather, great-grandfather. Look at the curve in the wing in that thing.
Well, you like that. He's got a spring to his wing. Yeah, spring to the wing.
He's just in the breeding loft. That he's not. You're not going to fly old birds or nothing with him, right?
Yeah, this guy here, he's going to fly old birds.
Oh,
he's
going to
fly.
wow.
He's going to fly Matheson. He's going to fly Hurst, and we're going to take him to Long Lock.
Long Lock.
We're going to in our old bird special.
He's getting into a 3-year-old.
He's a 2020, so he's ready to go now.
Yeah. Last year he flew right out to Matheson, which is 500 kilometers.
Yeah.
The year before, as a young bird, he flew out to 500 kilometers.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the year he flew as a young bird when he was scoring, he scored in the Oshawa Gold Band when they disqualified our clock.
Oh yeah.
He was a top pool bird. This bird would have won all the pool money. And
where did he place? He came in
coming seventh.
Yeah.
So, well,
oh yeah,
out of 600 birds.
Us. I forgot that.
Yeah. You know what? That was a fun fact in the Oshawa. I'm not knocking them. Hey, whatever. We pulled 14 birds. We pulled them across the board. This guy was one of them, right? I think we pulled $1,000, and he was seventh. He would have won some good pool money, and they disqualified the clock. Tony It was who was it? It was Oscar DeVries, Tony Elvis, and us. Us and Tony were the only guys this side with no wind.
This way.
The wind against us. But this was one of those cocks. Dan Gregoric knows him. Dan, you want him?
Dan Gregoric says, I remember the silvers you showed me when I was there. You don't need many when you have that quality beauties. Well done, team. So we wish the mealy pied cock the best of luck on his old bird journey this season. We'll have to follow along. What's his band number, Ryan? We'll have to make sure we follow his.
He's got one hell of a band number. Ready? Get your pens ready, folks.
What is it?
This is how he scores. His number is 2, 1, 1, 1, 1.
What a pigeon.
Oh,
Look at the look at him.
oh yeah.
Very nice.
What a pigeon. I get goosebumps. If Fuzzy was here, he'd say, God, let's have a drink to this one.
Again. Man.
There you go. Take him back, Ricky. Are you bringing plug or unplugged out?
Unplugged.
Unplugged.
Take my
Unplugged.
earphones
Unplugged.
off.
Unplugged for Glenn Thornley, and then we're going to wrap it up.
I don't want to
guys.
mess your hair up.
If you have pigeon questions, if you have questions about the Pioneer One Loft race, if you have questions about shipping your birds next week, if you have questions about dropping your pigeons off next week, any questions you might have, please let us know in the comments. Loft manager Richard's going to bring out Unplugged, and then I think we're going to wrap it up for this evening. Also, before I forget, Ryan, I'm just going to add, join us on our Feathersley Pigeon Auction page as well as our YouTube channel every Wednesdays at noon. Starting this Wednesday, we were supposed to start last Wednesday. Don't ask. We're not going to talk about what happened last Wednesday, but this Wednesday for sure, Ryan and I will be live at noon on our Feathersley Pigeon Auction page or our YouTube channel for a new show on our Feathers Elite channel where we're going to talk anything and everything to do with pigeons and pigeon racing with some special guests that Ryan has met along the way in his travels. We will have a new guest on every week. This week is just going to be Ryan and I because we're going to kind of do our little European wrap-up. We're going to talk to everybody about what's going on next year for Season 5, as well as some few other fun things, and kick off the show. So join us on Wednesday, guys. Any support from the Pioneer Village would be appreciated. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, and just another for people outside the province of Ontario, wherever you are in Canada, we are going to do pickups at WestJet on this coming Sunday and the following Sunday. Now, if for some reason you can't hit that and you need me to make a special trip, okay, great. I will do that for you. But let's try and organize things so I can go to the airport twice and get everything picked up because, as we say, the price of fuel is through the roof.
So that's for our Canadian participants. I will put a post up. Not to worry, guys. I'll put a post up on our Facebook page. I'll put a post on Wind Companion. When our Canadian participants who live outside of the Greater Toronto Area and who will not be hand delivering their birds, what day they're to ship their birds, and our American friends, it's going to be next week. Ryan's going to give you a call tomorrow and Wednesday. Call you all personally so you guys know the deal and know what's going on and know what address to send to and know what day to ship to, so we can get, hopefully, by next weekend, the majority of our participants checked in and ready to roll. We're hoping, right, Ryan?
Yeah, we want to get these birds in, and I want to start the game. I see some of the other races all around North America. They're getting loft inventories going and this and that. And Leah, you know me. I've gone far too long looking at people's pigeons. I got to start playing here. I'm getting itchy now. And again, look at Loft Manager Richard's landing board we built. What a board. I'm jealous. God, that's a beauty.
Certainly is nice. Cavender Loft, when will you guys have the young bird auction? The young bird auction will be once all the birds get checked in, and once Ryan breaks our auction birds, they will be up. So I would say probably, I'm going to go with beginning of June, maybe. Last week of May, first week of June-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like last year, when your birds come in, guys, we're going to photograph them all. Leah's going to upload them. Okay, so the birds are going to have a photo, so you're going to be able to see. So all the birds. And what people don't realize at this Pioneer race, when you stop and you think about it, it's not just a one-loft race. You are getting not only just an 8-race series with a 9th encore, which that's great. 9 races. 9. That's great. But you get the 5 hotspot trainers. That's great. You get the sprinters sprint series that we do. That's an additional 4 races. You've got our Ultimate Warrior that's coming up. That's an additional super race. What else can I say?
Lots of ways to win.
Lots of ways. There's so many ways to win.
so many ways to win. I just wanted to let you guys know when the birds do get checked in, all their photos will be uploaded on our Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction website on our 2022 Pioneer One Loft Race tab. Right now, we just have Reserve Your Purchase, but this will be transformed into where you are going to see all of our participants. All their photos will be here that you can look at. This is also going to be the place where you guys are going to activate your birds for sprint series, where you're going to do your pick birds, the same as we did it last year. So we're going to have lots of work to do the next couple of weeks, aren't we, Ryan?
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. And again, we are going to take you every step of the way. You're going to see feedings, breakings, etc. You guys will see it all. Just stay tuned. And you know, when we're on the shows, I always say that is the best time to ask us questions, because if you have a question,
Somebody else has it too, 100%. Before Dad comes on with Unplugged there, I just wanted to show everybody, if you guys have missed a loft tour or you would like some more information on some of our Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction breeders, I am currently on our website doing a Feathers Elite breeder directory where I'm putting all of the breeders that we represent, a list of them. If you click on their lot, if maybe you're interested in learning a little bit more about Annemie Van Hee, and you click on her lot, I have starting to upload some information on the breeders, some photos of their key breeders, race results, as well as the loft tour that Ryan did with them. So it's kind of like your one stop if you want to maybe revisit a loft tour or you want to learn about some more information about one of our breeders. So I'm updating that now. I think I've got 10 breeders up there now. I've got probably another, God, I don't know, 20 or so to add. So, and I'm putting them in alphabetical order. So just a little food for thought there. If you're interested or looking for something to watch, head on over to our website and do some investigating in our on our breeders. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so now Loft Manager Richard brings in a young pigeon. He's looking at him himself. I can tell he's very, very proud of this guy. Richard, who is this pigeon?
I am proud. This is Plugger.
Mm-hmm.
Mated to Italian hen from
Eros Carboni.
Let's see him.
This bird here was hatched February the 20th, and you tell me.
Well, I can already see. Holy shit!
This hatched February 20th.
This takes Plugger
so March 20th.
year.
It's 2 months old now.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something.
It's molting. Molting because it's in the dark. Right. Molting heavy, you can see that.
You're darkening it real nice. It's darkening beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is, look at that, yeah. Kick the first. There you go.
Look at the curve and the flights on this thing.
Yeah, you see. And we talk about the curve. There's flights that are straight and curve. Curve is the spring in the wing.
Spring in the wing.
Spring in the wing. But you see, this is a hell of a pigeon.
This is a nice
pigeon. Blows away last year's pigeon. From that hen, from Plugger.
For some reason, very intelligent. Last year's young one flew the 9 races, which consisted of the last 300 miles back to back. This was a nest mate of this with a different hen. Very intelligent. Look at the nice back on this thing.
Nice eye, well balanced.
And the coverage on the secondaries covering the back is incredible.
You see that when you open the wing, covers right up. You don't see the feathers or nothing.
It covers right down to the bum.
Yeah.
Covered.
And I tell you, the bird's got nice length. The vent bones are strong. It could be a bit bigger, the vent bones, but still, I like this pigeon. This pigeon blows away the one that did 9 races last year.
But I was going to say something. I was going to fly the Cox just widowhood, and Ryan came back from Europe, and meanwhile I had 20 hens that I had put away just to upstairs in the Twisted Sister in the back room, just to use for the Cox for teasing. And Ryan said, well, look, I want to fly the hens too, so we're going to go double. So I said, okay. So I put the hens down with the Cox.
Mm-hmm.
That hen, his sister, never, ever was downstairs. She was always flowing upstairs. I'm not kidding you. the first day I let those hens out with the cocks, she went right downstairs. There's no problems. Like very, very smart.
Smart pigeon.
Very, very smart.
Well, and again, if you guys want to know, mark it down in your books. What a great number, 966. I like good numbers. This one's got a hell of a good number.
Look,
we're going to watch this bird on its way.
Look at his black feet. He's still got black feet like the day he was hatched.
Like the day he was hatched.
Yeah.
A beautiful spring in this wing. What a pigeon.
Now, what about the spring, Ryan? Talk about the spring.
It's good.
So, for example, if you're flying a 500-mile race in a headwind, 9 times out of 10, your bird will come home.
It's hard to see.
So here I can see it like no problem.
So
your bird will come home, and after 500 miles pushing a headwind, his end flights, the last 4 flights, will be turned up the opposite way, up, because he's pushing that much wind. Now, if he's got a curve like that in his flights, that his flights act as a spring. So that means he pushes, the flights bounce back. But if the flights don't have no curve, they keep pushing back. He's losing air.
He's losing spring.
He's losing
losing
the
snap.
stroke.
He's losing everything.
Yeah.
That's right. And I noticed in Europe, a lot of the lofts, a lot of them, you go and you look, they're all real good curves to the wings.
That's a spring. It's like an extra leaf in a pickup truck or a dump truck.
Now, hey, some could say that's bullshit, this. Hey, take it for what you want, right?
I don't think it's bullshit.
I don't think
Makes
so.
sense.
But I'm saying people say this, people say that.
See my fingers like this?
Mhm.
Or my fingers like this?
You got more.
When I push, my fingers like this. I push, they bounce back. I push, they bounce back.
Well, there you have it. There's
Look,
unplugged.
he's going through, and he's in a bad state right now because he's molting.
But boy, he's molting good. You feel he's all loose.
Yeah,
Like the feathers are just popping right out of him.
He was hatched February the 20th.
Well, there you have it, Leah.
He's the first hatch.
Unplugged.
Here we go. Unplugged, also available for the Pioneer auction. Glenn
I got
Thornley,
look at the feathers
that one's for
falling
you.
off him. I got his sister next round.
Perfect. Don't interrupt, Ricky. Take it away, Leah.
Look at the feathers.
There we go. Available for auction probably end of May, beginning of June, after he has been acclimated to the loft and broken. He will be available. He will be available for activation. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap this up. Ryan and Richard are going to call our American friends tomorrow and Wednesday. I will put a post up for our Canadian participants. If you guys have questions about sending your birds, we're always here to help. You can call Ryan 416-990-0187. Loft Manager Richard 416-891-2518. Or you can shoot us an email. I've got a new proper email, info@fipa.ca. Hopefully that one won't get spammed the crap out of. I think that's it. We're gonna wrap this one up.
That's
Anything else
it.
you want to say, Ryan?
No, great show tonight. Good audience support. Pioneer is 1 week away. By this weekend, it will start. The festivities will begin. Great job, guys. Good job, Richard. Hey, those babies will be up soon. And in remembrance to Fuzzy Bodden, this one's for you, my friend. See you up there. Eventually, we'll all get up there, but he's got a head start. He's going to start his breeding loft up there. That's Richard. I'm Ryan. Leah, you've done a great job. Audience, super. Thanks for flying with us, guys. Bye for now.
Good night, guys.